How to stretch the hamstrings properly. Welcome guys. Now our hamstrings are quite difficult and stubborn areas when it comes to improving the mobility and flexibility of. A lot of us experience quite a lot of discomfort when it comes to stretching our hamstrings, nor do we see amazing results. So today I wanted to go over a more effective means of stretching the hamstrings that I find suitable for the majority of people. Now, it's a common belief or myth that when stretching the hamstrings, we want to go with a straight leg variation. So having the knee locked out. Generally, to find the stretch, you would then fall forward. So you would see people do this. Same thing can be done on the floor with the leg lifted up. Now, if you dig a little deeper and you ask questions of what they're experiencing, majority of the people will tell you they feel a stretch or pain behind the kneecap, where we have the crease of our knee. And they'll assume that that's a really good and deep hamstring stretch. Most likely you're not stretching the hamstrings, but your sciatica nerve, which is not a great thing to be stretching and can cause a lot of damage in the long term. If you're experiencing that stretch behind the knee, like I said, then what that means is that these particular setups probably are not suitable for you at this current stage. You don't have the flexibility nor mobility to gain or benefit from these setups. So, one way we can address this issue is by taking the same setup and then bending the knee slightly. Alright, this will take the tension away from behind the knee and more into the belly of the hamstring, which is in the middle here. Okay, from here, I can then access the stretch by manipulating my pelvis. So if I imagine my pelvis is like a ball of water, I want to then pour water out the front side of that ball by dropping the front, lifting the back. So I do the same with the pelvis. I try to drop the front by anteriorly tilting, lifting the back. That also helps create a slight arch in my lower back, and that will lengthen the hamstrings. I already have quite a deep hamstring stretch now in the belly of the hamstring just by doing that. If you find you do that and then you don't have a stretch, you can then begin to fold with your torso, and that should be an easier way of accessing the hamstrings. Now from here there's a few variables you can then begin to play with. So how much knee bend you apply will move the stretch up and down slightly. And also internally and externally rotating the hip. So if I draw my knee or turn my knee inwards or I turn my knee outwards, again this will change different areas of hamstrings that are being stretched. As I said earlier, the hamstrings are quite a difficult and stubborn area when it comes to mobilizing, so it's worth exploring and finding out what areas of tension or what angles you have particular areas of tension and speak to the most. Now, if you feel it's generally tight everywhere, then just find a stretch down the middle. I have a stick. If you notice, the stick now is quite helpful because with these type of stretches, we want to hold for a good 90 seconds, 2 minutes. And I want to be able to be in this position and relax and be comfortable. So I then use the stick just to help support my upper body. So from here, I can then just focus on my breath, relaxing into the stretch. While you're holding, you can then decide if you want to apply a bit of isometric contractions to help increase the mobility of the hamstrings. So what I would then do is drive my leg down into the box. I'm thinking pushing down, but also curling in as if I was trying to close the knee. And then I'm also thinking contract everything I feel back here on stretch to create that isometric effort. I would hold for 15 to 20 seconds, relax that isometric effort. You'll feel the stretch eases off a little bit, so then anterior pelvic tilt again to find or get slightly deeper into that stretch and hold for a little bit. And then you can repeat it for a few more rounds while you're holding this position for a few minutes. So just to recap, if you experience a stretch behind the knee with a straight leg variation, places like bending the knee, you can play with how much you bend the knee turning in and out, and then trying to access the stretch with anteriorly pelvic tilting as opposed to relying on folding with the torso to get into the stretch. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't checked out my How to Prevent Hamstring Injuries video, then go check it out. And also my free hamstring mobility class if you want to learn more on how to improve your hamstring mobility.